On the 4th of August 2009, two girls, Sarah and Ashley, set out for a short day walk along the sledge track. They had no idea it was all going to go wrong.
It was just a day walk. We had been talking with friends and they told us about an off-track swimming hole just down the hill. Then the holidays came. We were bored and said, hey, let's go check it out. And so we left the track heading to where they described.
At midday, approximately 1.5 hours after they set out, the two girls arrived at their destination.
When we got to the swimming hole, it was just as I imagined. The river bended, forming a deep, calm area. We sat down and got out our lunch. I have to say, the chocolate had never tasted so good. And then Sarah told me something strange.
I said I was going to jump in.
I was kind of surprised. It was freezing.
I asked if she wanted to as well. She told me no way. Well, she was right. It was a little cold, I guess. But that wasn't going to stop me. So I jumped in.
There was a big splash, and then Sarah surfaced. She looked freezing. I just laughed.
I'd never gotten out of the water so quickly, but that's when it started going wrong.
I asked her, what's wrong?
I couldn't find my towel. I'd left it behind.
She looked freezing, so I told her just to put her shirt back on over top. Said she was still cold, so we decided to call it a day.
The two girls leave the swimming hole. The shirt that Sarah is wearing is 100% cotton. Cotton is known to absorb moisture, keeping the wearer feeling cold and wet. What they don't realise is that Sarah is starting to show early signs of hypothermia. She needs to be dried and warmed soon, or it will likely get worse. They also don't realise that they are heading in the wrong direction, away from the track.
We set off at an easy pace because I was aware of Ashley's asthma, and in the bush, where people are unlikely to find us, would be a bad place to have an attack. I was freezing and completely exhausted, but I knew we had to find the track and get out of there. We didn't know we were going away from the track.
Sarah started off in front of me, so I noticed her getting slower by the minute. It wasn't long before I overtook her. She was complaining she was tired, but I kept saying we have to keep going. We need to find the track. She mumbled something to me that sounded like, I can't, and looking at the state of her, I agreed she physically didn't have the strength to go on any further today. Light was fading fast, so I sat down next to her freezing body and we agreed to stay here the night and find the track in the morning.
We have two lost trampers, somewhere off this track. We need to find them soon. Reports show that they took very little food and water for their short day tramp.
I was the team leader for one of the search and rescue ground teams. We were sent to find two missing girls who had apparently gone for a day walk in the bush off the sledge track. Very little food and water the day before.
Friends of the missing girls reported that they were heading for an off-track swimming hole. That is where we shall begin our search. Let's go and find them.
I gave my team a briefing and then we were off to find them.
When I woke up, it took me a second to realise where we were and why we were there. I tried waking up Sarah, but she wouldn't respond. That's when I thought, oh crap, and ran. I ran and ran. I ran and ran. I had to find the track out of here, to find help, to help Sarah. I tripped. When I sat up, I noticed two things. Firstly, I had twisted my ankle, and secondly, I was going into shock from an asthma attack. I needed my inhaler, but I'd left it in my bag back with Sarah.
Ashley had gone into a severe exercise-induced asthma attack. She needed to be found soon if she is to survive it. Luckily, John's search and rescue team are nearby.
Hey, I found one over here!
I was slightly surprised that it was one of my team members who found the missing girls. To be honest, I didn't expect them to be found, let alone by one of my team. So the first time that anyone from my team had found someone lost in the bush. Threw a survival blanket over her and radioed for immediate help.
We found her. Over.
And that was when we realised she was still alive. She became conscious for just a minute, just long enough for her to point us in the direction of the other lost tramper, before falling unconscious again.
And they found me just in time. They told me that if it had been another hour, I would have likely died from severe hypothermia.
I don't know what I would have done if I'd lost her. We have been best friends for years. I feel like this brought us even closer together. We had both stared death in the face and said, "Not today."